6th anniversary of Mr. 96's Pop Reviews. My name is Mr. 96. Whenever I review current hits, I not only like to analyze whether I like a song or not, but also evaluate how it fits today's pop culture. And if there were any artist who's very emblematic of modern times who couldn't have been huge in the eras before, it's Lil Nas X.
Welcome to MONTERO.
I'm sure everyone and their grandma has heard about his hit song, Montero, or at least the content surrounding the song, so initially I wasn't interested in reviewing it since I didn't really have anything to say. Plus, it was released a million months ago, so it's essentially old news. However, Montero is still a top 10 hit in goddamn September, and it's definitely going to end up as one of the most memorable songs of 2021, for better or worse. So I feel it's only fair for me to review it. But not in the conventional way. Usually I just review the song and analyze the music, singing, etc., but consider this my long-winded diatribe. Not on the song, but the overall response to the song. Nowadays, people seem to love reactionary material, so anytime we have a music video or something that's possibly risque, everyone has to get their opinions in to draw in clicks. Of course, you have the expected backlash from right-wing homophobes and religious prudes, but you also have those in the hip-hop community that try to undermine him. Joyner Lucas made a stink about how Lil Nas X was setting a bad example for kids, especially those that like Old Town Road. I get the concern, but at the same time, when the fuck did you care about what the kids say? Hip-hop is a genre known for pushing boundaries, so when anyone argues someone is going too far, let's just say I seriously doubt you're doing so out of genuine concern. The man is literally sliding down a CGI stripper pole into hell. That's less explicit content and more comedic if you ask me. It's so over the top, why would anyone seriously get offended? Arguing it's problematic is like trying to say Dragon Ball Z is too adult because people die, as if death actually matters in that show. Of course, we also have to consider the reality that the hip-hop community is notoriously homophobic, an example of which has already been made this year. Now, I'm not accusing Joyner Lucas of being homophobic, though he did say a Spanish gay slur in Lucky You, so consider me a little suspicious. Regardless, I know there are many people who do have those bigoted thoughts. Whether you're black, Hispanic, Asian, etc., minority communities can be just as, if not more homophobic than even the religious white people. Even as a non-white person from California, I also have conservative uncles who disapproved of their own LGBTQ+ children, so trust me, this kind of shit exists everywhere, regardless of race. One major cause of homophobia in ethnic minorities is the inescapable factor of religion, and anyone who knows anything about black churches knows that religion is a big deal in the African American community. In addition to homophobia, another issue within the black community is the topic of masculinity, where black men are often taught from a young age to repress their emotions and not display any sign of vulnerability.
We're taught to tough it out, we're taught not to cry, we're taught to be tough. And you broke your silence. What made you break your silence?
Whether you follow sports or entertainment, you often see black men get ridiculed and shamed for not fitting a certain masculine image or persona, especially when it comes to mental health. I bring this all up because Lil Nas X's music basically counters every single stigma he could possibly face.
I told you long ago on the road.
I also could have done a review of Industry Baby, the song he did with Jack Harlow recently, but I decided against it because what I would say is similar to what I'm saying now, so same energy. Regardless, the point is that it's so predictable in how haters would respond because Lil Nas X gained his fame being a professional shitposter. Even if you're as red as a Fox News anchor, why are you taking the bait? And you can tell by the religious responses that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Which brings me to a topic that's confused me for years. I don't get this shit about devil music. This is like when parents in the 50s thought Elvis's hips were a sign of the devil. Seriously, if you thought boomers were old-fashioned, you haven't seen their parents. You see certain people reacting with immense shock because they're either that morally misguided or finding an excuse to get mad at a song by an openly gay man. They claim he worships Satan, even though the video literally ends with him killing Satan, meaning they A, didn't watch the video, B, are actually that stupid, or C, all of the above. If we're being completely honest, why does anyone get offended at anything relating to Satan or the devil? It's 2021. Satan is basically a Hot Topic mascot at this point. I'll go even further and say that God is a fucking meme. You ever wonder why religious zealots never get angry at JRPGs that actually let you kill God? Because white kids play video games too, so they know it's a losing battle. But Satan-themed shoes that just so happen to be made by a gay black man? Sure, they'll throw a tantrum at that, because they know their followers are as bigoted as they are. And I know this may seem odd considering how much I've rambled, but let's actually listen to the song and hear what he has to say.
I'm not faced, only you to sin. If you've been in your garden, you know that you can.
The reference to Eve obviously implies his sin is hooking up with Adam, aka his male lover. Of course, he uses the term sin sarcastically because of how Christianity views homosexuality. If anything, he's only considered morally dubious based on the archaic definitions of a book several thousand years old, a book many people like to force on others.
I wanna sell what you're buying. I wanna feel on your ass in Hawaii.
Regardless of what you think of Lil Nas X as an artist, Montero is a song that comes from a real place. It's titled after his real-life first name, and if anything, his artistic expression should be applauded. Of course, that's not gonna stop people from complaining about it, but I've come to expect that. Any sexual media not directed at straight men will always get scrutinized. It's like how people get angry at sexual songs by women. The most common response I've gotten from people on my top 10 worst hit songs of 2020 video is why I didn't put WAP on the list. Well, let me put this shit to bed, as I actually kind of enjoy it. It's not a song I voluntarily seek out by any means, but if anything, I find it hilarious purely because of how many people feel so insulted by its existence. I don't care if you're some religious boomer, Ben Shapiro, or whatever, any supposed controversy is only because you're the one bitching about it, so I don't have to cater to your response. I bet the same people probably get their feathers ruffled at Build a Bitch.
This ain't Build a Bitch, you don't get to pick and choose.
All things considered, it's a quirky song that calls out men for objectifying women, meaning Bob from Mississippi probably feels personally attacked right now. But if it were much bigger on the Hot 100, I guarantee there would be clickbait reaction videos from certain uncomfortable parties. All things considered, I actually think Montero is pretty nice from a musical standpoint.
Call me by your name.
The acoustic melody is on point, and it demonstrates the feeling of a sultry yet forbidden love, from a certain perspective. Normally I'd give a song a rating, but considering how topical it is to discuss, I'd rather save those thoughts for the end of the year. Plus, 6 years into this show, I want to cut back on the 96 scale a bit, and save it for when my opinions are more stable. I apologize if this video wasn't as long as my usual reviews, but I just want to do something quick and effective for a change. And check out Montero if you can. Solid tune. But before you go, I would like to give thanks to my patrons on Patreon for suggesting I analyze Build a Bitch by Bella Porch as this episode's low charting rep. At $2 per video, you can help vote on low charting songs for me to talk about in my pop reviews, as well as songs for me to review in 2000s childhood pop. At $5 per video, you get to be listed in my Names of Fame, and at $10 per video, you get a personal shout through the heart along with Prideful Zella. My next video will likely be a pop review since I do have one planned, however, I actually want you all to vote on the next 2000s childhood pop episode, so you can click on the link in the description below to do so right now. Voting will work in a 2-round format. The first round will just be the patrons suggesting any song they want, and the suggestion I like the most will become the patron rep. In the second round, which comes much later, the patron rep will go against 3 predetermined songs in an official poll, and whichever one wins the vote will be the song I review for 2000's childhood pop. So for only $2 per video, you get to help decide which 2000 song I review next, as the power's in your hands. Once again, I'm Mr. 96. If you want to see more pop reviews, click the subscribe button below and tap that bell to be notified when I drop a new episode. Anyways, thank you so much for 6 years of support, and I'll see you in the next video. Pop songs may come in numbers, but there's only one. 96.
너의 그 말 그 잔인한 말 가슴 아파